Hello students. From today we will start a GMAT series also. So question number 1 from GMAT previous year's questions is, so this is a GMAT series, GMAT quant section questions. Number 1 question is working at a constant rate. So constant rate is very important, that it is working at a rate which is not changing. A copy machine makes 20 copies of a one-page document per minute. If the machine works at this constant rate, how many hours does it take to make 4800 copies of a one-page document? So this will fall in the easy category question. So how will solve it? 4800 copies are asked how much time it will take. So you divide it by 20 copies. See, 20 copies, for copying 20 copies, it takes 1 minute. Fine. So what we do in these cases, this is called a unitary method. For example, if we are asked to find out in how many minutes such number of copies will be, let us suppose 180 minutes, fine. So then what we do is we divide this by 20 copies. But now here we are asked 4800 copies are made in how much hours. So what will we do? One copy is made in 1 by 20 of a minute. So 4800 copies will be made. This is called unitary method. So it will be made in, if one copy is made in 1/20th of a minute, 4800 copies will be made in 1 by 20 into 4800. So this is 240 minutes. Now since he has asked you in hours, so we know that 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. So here we are having 240 minutes. So this is basically 60 minutes into 4. So basically it is 240 minutes. So in hours it will be 4 hours. So it will be your first option. Option number A is the right answer. If x plus y is equal to 2 and x square plus y square is equal to 2, then what is the value of x into y? So how will we be solving it? See, x plus y is given to be 2, right? Now x square plus y square is equal to 2. You need to find the value of x, y. So in such cases what we do, we scare it, scaring both sides. What we will be having, x plus y whole square is equal to 2 square, which is actually 4. Here we will apply a plus b whole square formula, which is basically equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. So this expression boils down to x square plus y square plus 2xy equal to 4. Now here we have the value of x square plus y square as 2. So we'll put that value over here. So this will be 2 plus 2xy equal to 4. Or we can say 2xy transposing 2 to the right hand side will get 4 minus 2 equal to 2. So xy will be having a value of 2.2 equal to 1. So option D is the right answer. The sum S of first n consecutive positive even integers is given by s equal to n into n plus 1. For what value of n is this sum equal to 110? It's a very easy question. So how will you do it? The question asks the sum s of first n consecutive positive even integers. So he has given a formula for that. So that is s equal to n into n plus 1. And he asks for what value of n this s should be equal to 110. So there are two ways of doing that. Maybe more methods, but I will recommend that in this method you start putting the values. So for n equal to 10, you will get here 10 multiplied by 10 plus 1, 11. So in the very first option you are getting the sum as 110. So for this case the option right answer is option number A, n value 10. Right? For other cases you can try 11 into 11 plus 1, 12. So this will be 120 and this will be 132. So you will do all these options. Or what we can do, since he has given that sum is equal to n into n plus 1 is equal to 110. So you can do it by quadratic equation, by making it a quadratic equation like n square plus n minus 110 equal to 0. By this method you can also do that, but I would recommend for some questions in GMAT, since time is a greatest factor in GMAT quant section as well as verbal section too. So I would recommend it by that some questions can, if they are able to, you are able to solve them by putting the values. That's a time saving strategy for solving GMAT. Time saving strategy is very important for, so that you could save more time for bit harder questions, right? So in this question can be approached by putting the values, options. Next question is 6 bracket 87.30 plus 0.65 minus 5 bracket multiplied by 87.30. So by watching closely you can see that 87.30 and 87.30 over here also. When I will open the bracket, it will be 6 times this minus 5 times this. So I can write it like this: 6 times 87.30, 6 multiplied by this plus 6 multiplied by 0.65 minus 5 multiplied by 87.30. 87.30. So these two will have 87.37 as common, and in bracket you will have 6 minus 5, which is actually equal to 1, plus 6 into 0.65, right? So this is basically 87.30 plus 6 into 6.65. So this is basically 6 into 65 by 100. So you multiply by this. This is 6. How will multiply this? 60 plus 5 into 6. So this is basically 60 into 6 is 360, and this is 6 into 5, 30. So this is basically 390, right? Divide by this 100. So this is basically 3.9, right? 3.9. So you will add it. This will come out to be 91.20. Option number D is the right answer, right? Or you can use also another method, which is eliminating the alternatives, eliminating the wrong alternatives. It's a very important technique through which you can arrive at one or two most probable right answers. See, 3.90, 39, 90.90 and 91.20 and 91.85. You can have these values to be precise, and after calculating you can arrive at the right answer. Point A, B, C, D in that order lie on a line. If AB is equal to 3 centimeter, AC is equal to 4 centimeter and BD is equal to 6 centimeter. What is CD in centimeter? So first of all we will draw a figure. So let us suppose this is in that order, means A lies, you can take from left to right or right to left. So he says AB is equal to 3 centimeter. So this is 3 centimeter. AC is 4 centimeter. So this is AC. And BD is 6 centimeter. What is CD equal to? So you need to find this portion. So since you know that BD is equal to 6 centimeter, now BD is equal to BC plus CD, right? But we need to calculate BC. So if this AB is 3 centimeter and AC is 4 centimeter, so I can say that BC is 1 centimeter. Now we need CD. So for this, BC is equal to 1, BD is 6 plus CD. So CD is equal to 6 minus 1. 6 minus 1 will be the length of CD. So that is basically 5 centimeter. So the correct option will be option number E. What is the value of x square yz minus xyz square if x is equal to minus 2, y is equal to 1 and z is equal to 3? So how you will approach this question? See, x, y, z are common in both the expressions. So we'll take x, y, z as common. Here it is x square. Yz is with the single power. So we'll have x over here minus z. So this is this expression. You open it this expression, it will be x square yz minus xy z square, which is the same as the expression given in the question. So putting the values, x equal to minus 2, y 1, z 3, and inside it will be minus 2 minus 3. So this will be minus 6, and minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5. Fine. So minus and minus will get plus. 6 into 5 is 30. So your option will be option number C. A souvenir vendor purchased 1,000 shirts for a special event at a price of $5 each. The vendor sold 600 of the shirts on the day of the event for $12 each, and 300 of the shirts in the week following the event for $4 each. The vendor was unable to sell the remaining shirts. What was the vendor's gross profit on the sale of these shirts? See, how we'll approach this question. First of all, we'll find out the cost price. So that will be 1,000 multiplied by $5 each. So that will be $5,000. The total amount he spent on purchasing these 1,000 shirts. Now, the examiner says that 600 of the shirts were sold on the event at a price of $12 each. So this will be 7,200. Further, he says that 300 were sold at a price of $4. So this will be 1,200. So total revenue generated will be 8,400. Right? $8,400. So subtracting this 8,400 from 5,000 will fetch you the amount gross profit. So this will be $3,400. So which is the right option? Option E is the right answer. $3,400. If x is greater than y and y is greater than z, which of the following represents the greatest number? So here we don't know anything about the signs of these three variables x, y and z. So how will we approach this question? See, first of all, let us take this question to the right side of the 0. So the question says x is greater than y. So let us put some value for this. Y is greater than z. So let us suppose x is having value 5 and y is having value 2. Right? Now y has to be greater than z. So I will put the value of z as 1 and y is 2. Right? So he says which for the following represents the greatest number. Now we have the values. We have fulfilled the conditions. So we will write x is greater than y greater than z. We can write it like this. So 5 is greater than 2 is greater than 1. Now the options. First option is x minus z. So x minus z will be positive 4. Option B, x minus y. So this will be x minus y equal to plus 3. Y minus x. Y minus x will be minus 3 or negative of this. Option D is z minus y. So this will be 1 minus 5 which is minus 4. And E is z minus x. So z minus x will be z minus y. Z minus y is, this will be minus 1 and this will be minus 4. So in all these you can see that minus 4 is the, plus 4 is the greatest number. So you can say x minus z equal to plus 4 or x minus z will be the greatest number. Option number A. You can check this for left hand side also by putting the values. See, in this case, let us suppose x is equal to minus 2 is greater than y. Let us suppose this value is minus 5. Again, y is greater than z. So this is minus 5 greater than minus 8. Right? As you know, on the left side of the number line system, you must draw the number line like this for such cases, so that here in the positive 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 2. By this method, you can remember that those who are in towards down line, they are lesser than the numbers which are above them. Right? So in this case again, x minus z. So that will be minus 2 minus minus of 8. So this will be minus 2 plus 8. So this will be 6. Now x minus y. Minus 2 minus 5. Minus 2 minus minus of 5 will be minus 2 plus 5 equal to 3. Next will be case y minus x. So x minus y is this. So y minus x will be minus of 3. Right? Or you can write this as minus 5 minus minus of 2 equal to minus 5 plus 2. Right? Now z minus y. Z is minus 8. Z minus 8 minus minus of minus 5. So this will be again minus 8 plus 5 equal to minus 3. Last case is z minus x. So that will be minus 8 minus minus of 2, which is minus 8 plus 2 equal to minus 6. So again in all these cases you find that the value of x minus z is the greatest. So this is positive 6. So option A stands as the correct answer. Now there will be third case in which you will be taking the mix of values where you have to fulfill these criteria. Again you will find out that the option A comes as the greatest number. To order certain plants from a catalog, it costs $3 per plant plus a 5% sales tax plus $6.95 for shipping and handling regardless of the number of plants ordered. So this is independent of the number of plants. If company C ordered these plants from the catalog and the total cost of $69.95, how many plants did company C order? So let us suppose that the company ordered X number of plants. Right? So this is the number. Let us suppose this is X. Now it costs 3 per plant. That means 3x, $3 multiplied by X. Fine. Plus we have a 5% sale tax. So sale tax is basically charged on the amount which is made through the sale. So that is 5% of 3x, right? Plus this is 6.95 and this is independent of x is equal to 69.95. As you would shift this to this side, this will become 69.95 minus 6.95. This will be 0, 0 and 63. So this is 63 equal to 3x plus 5 by 100 of 3x. So you can take 3x common over here, or I can write over here by cancelling. I can have 5% as 5% is what basically this is 5 upon 100. So this is 1 by 20. So I can have this as 3x common. 1 plus 1 by 20 equal to 63. Here I can cancel this. So this will be 21. So this implies x. Taking 20 as LCM, I will have here 20 plus 1 equal to 21. So this implies x dot 21 by 20 is equal to 21. Either I can cancel over here, or I will write x equal to 21 dot 20. 20 will go to the numerator divided by 21. So this will cancel out and you will have x, the value of x as 20. So the company C ordered number of plants as 20. Right option is option number C. So this is, you must try to make the statement into an equation. A rug manufacturer produces rugs at a cost of $75 per rug. What is the manufacturer's gross profit from the sale of 150 rugs if 2 by 3 of the rugs are sold for 150 per rug and the rest are sold for 200 per rug? So see, per piece the cost of purchasing the rugs is $75. Now he says total rugs for the sale of 150 rugs, out of which 2 by 3rd into 50 is 50, it means 100 rugs. So 100 rugs are sold for $150, right? Second thing is, now out of 150, 2 by 3rd are 100 rugs. So remaining will be 50 rugs which are sold at the price of 200 rugs per dollar. 200 rugs, $200 per rug. So either you can calculate this and then multiply it by 75 into 50 and then subtract this. Or what we can do in this case, see, $75 is the cost price. Here 100 rugs are being sold at a price of 150. So how much will be the profit? That will be 150 minus 75. That means 100 into 75 is the profit for 100 rugs, and in this case it is $200 the price at which he is selling them. $200 minus 75 will be 125 into 50 rugs. So this is the profit. So here it will be 7,500. Right? Now 50 into 125. 125 into 5 is 125, into 2 is 250, into 4 is 500. So this will be 125, 6250. Now adding these 7,500 and 6250. So this will be 0577630. So this will be $13,750 profit. So which option is this? Right answer is option number C. The value of Maureen's investment portfolio has decreased by 5.8% since her initial investment in the portfolio. If her initial investment was 16,800, what is the value of the portfolio? Current value of the portfolio. So I will do that. See, it is saying that its portfolio has decreased by 5.8%. So what does that basically means? That 100 minus 5.8, which is equal to 94.2. 94.2% is now the actual value of our initial investment. So how we will calculate that? We will calculate it by 94.2% of 16,800. We will calculate that. So this is basically 94.2 divided by percentage into 100, 16,800. Cancelling this, we will get 94.2 multiplied by 168 or divided by 10. So now you will multiply this. See, if you want to avoid the multiplication, you can have the unit digit method, that 8 into 2 will be 6, right? So after that there will be a decimal because of this. So wherever there is a unit digit, whereas digit having 6 at its place, it will be the right answer. So that's falling in the category for C option only. But if there are two options, let us suppose this option 16702.60. If this is another option, then you need to multiply this so as to get to the right answer. But here we are having 6 only in the option C. So you can kindly mark option number C is the right answer. How this came up? Just multiplying 8 into 2, we get to know that the unit digit will be having 6 as unit digit, but there is a 10 in denominator, so it will be having a point before that, decimal before that. So that happens only in case of option C in this question. So option C is the right answer. This is called unit digit method. Unit digit method, finding the unit digit. Just as in case you need to multiply 22 into 68, right? So by 8 into 2, 6. So the multiplication, whatever with the answer, it would be having 6 at its unit digit. But if there are options which are having unit digit there are more than one option in which we are having this, then you need to calculate this. So for me, I believe that in GMAT, you must have time saving strategy. Time saving strategy is very important. Company C produces tire trucks at a cost of $5 each for first 100 trucks and $3.50 for each additional truck. If 500 toy trucks were produced by company C and sold for $10 each, what was the company C's gross profit? So first of all, we can find that 500 toy trucks were produced and sold for $10 each. So total revenue generated would be 500 into $10 equal to $5,000. Now cost is 5 rupees for 100 trucks, so that will be $500 for first 100 trucks, and the remaining trucks are total 500 trucks were produced, so remaining are 400 trucks, and the cost for producing that is $3.50. We will multiply it by 3.50. यहाँ पे 100 नीचे आ जाएगा. So this would be 350 into 4, that is $1,400. So this is the total cost of producing. So that is $1,900, and total gross profit will be $5,000 minus $1,900, which is equal to $3,100. Now option is option number C. The annual profit or loss for 3 divisions of company T for the years 1991 through 1995 are summarized in the table shown, where losses are enclosed in parentheses. So losses are enclosed in parentheses. For which division and which 3 consecutive years shown was the division's profit or loss for 3 period closest to $0. Okay. Now this is the table, profit or loss in millions of dollars, division A, particular year 91, 92, 93. For all these 3 years, these parentheses indicate that these are losses. That means we will refer them with the negative sign. Now first option is division A for 1991 to division A 1991 to 1993. So for 1991 period to 1993, it is having 2 profits and 1 loss. So 1.9 plus 1.1 is 3.0 minus 3.4. So this is a loss of minus 0.4. Now the second option is division A, again for the period 1992 to 1994. So that will be from this period to this period for A. So this is 3.9 positive minus 3.4. So this will be having value 0.5 plus 0.5. Now option C is division B for 1991 to 1993. 1991 to 1993. So it is having 2.3 and 4.5 as loss. So this is basically 4.5, 5.5, 6.5 and 6.8. So this is in minus plus 5.5. So this is again a loss of minus 1.3. Now the second option, fourth option is division B for the period 1993 to 1995. So the period is 1993 to 1995. So it is having 2 losses, minus 4.5, minus 2.9 plus 3.9. So this will be minus 2.9 plus 3.9 is plus 1.0. So this will be having a loss of minus 3.5. And the last option is division C for the period 1992 to 1994. So division C, this is 6.6 in negative side. We are referring losses with the negative side. 5.3 plus 1.1 is plus 6.4. So this will be minus 0.2. Now the question asks which one is the close to $0. So 0.04, these are far away from $0. So in this case, option E is the closest to the $0. So option E is the right answer. Division C for 1992 to 1994. Of the following, which is the least? So options are, if you closely look, all the options are having numerator as the same, 0.03, 0.03, 0.03, 0.03, 0.03. So whenever numerator is same, then the denominator having the largest value, will be that fraction will be the least fraction. Fine. So in this case, we see 7.1, 0.71, 0.071, these all are in a decreasing order. So 7.1 is the largest one. So 0.03 divided by 7.1 will be the least of all these. So option E is the right answer. We can solve it also by taking an example. Let us suppose we are having numerator as 2 for 3 cases. One is 2.4, one is 2.8 and one is 2/16. So this is basically 1 by 2, this is 1 by 4 and this will be 1 by 8. See, numerators are same in these cases, all these 3 cases, but the numerator, the largest value of the denominator is in the case of C. So this fraction will be the least. And if you ask which is the largest of all these, then in that case we will consider the denominator which is having the least value. So in that case that will be option A. But since we have been asked which is least, so that will be the option E. If the average arithmetic mean of 5 numbers j plus 5, 2j minus 1, 4j minus 2 and 5j minus 1 is 8, what is the value of j? See, we know that arithmetic mean is always equal to sum of observations or sum of data divided by total number of observations, that is in this case is 5 and average has been given as 8. So I can write 8 is equal to sum of observations will be j plus 5 plus 2j minus 1 plus 4j minus 2 plus 5j minus 1. Whole divided by number of observations are 5. So this is 2j, 4j, 8j and 13j. So this is 13j minus 5 minus 1, 4. 4 minus 2 is 2 and 2 minus 1 is 1. So 13j minus 1 would be equal to, this will go into the numerator and it is 40. Right? This is 5, 4, 2 and plus 1. So this will be 13j equal to 40 minus 1, 39. And j will be equal to 39 divided by 13, which is equal to 3. So the value of j in this case is 3. Option D is the right answer. Model owns two rectangular tracts of land. One is 300 meter by 500 meter and other is 250 meter by 630 meter. The combined area of these two tracts is how many square meters? So it's a very simple question. Just we must know the formula for area of a rectangle is length into breadth. So first is 300 into 500 meters plus 250 into 60, 630. Now in this case we must try to see if there is anything common, so as to take the common outside. So I can write this as 300 into 500 plus 250 into, this can be broken into 2 into 315. So I can write this as 2 into 315. Fine. 315 into 2 is 630. Now this is 500 and here also it is 500. So I can take 500 common and inside will be 300 plus 315. So this will be 500 multiplied by 615. So if you calculate this, this comes out to be 307,500. So option B is the right answer. There are 5 sales agents in a certain real estate office. 1 month Andy sold twice as many as properties as Ellen. Bob sold 3 more than Ellen. Carrie sold twice as many as Bob and Dora sold as many as Bob and Ellen together. Who sold the most properties that month? So this is a question regarding the comparison of quantities. Now if we suppose that, see, most of the sales agents properties sold has been compared with the Ellen. So we would let that Ellen has, we would assume that Ellen has posed X number of properties. So Andy sold twice as many properties as Ellen. So Andy sold twice of X, right? Now Bob sold 3 more than Ellen. So there is a difference between these two things. Sold twice means multiplied by X, and Bob sold 3 more than Ellen. So that is addition. So that will be X plus 3. 3 more than Ellen. Now Carrie sold twice as many as Bob. So Carrie sold twice as many as Bob. That means it must be multiplied by 2. The property sold by Bob. So this is 2x plus 6. Now, and Dora sold as many as Bob and Ellen together. Now Dora sold as many as Bob and Ellen together. We know Ellen has sold X properties, which we have assumed. Bob sold X plus 3. So this will be 2x plus 3. So Dora sold 2x plus 3. And last, Ellen sold X number of properties, which we assumed in the starting. Now, with the comparison, you will come to know that if 2x, there is 2x, this is x plus 3, this is 2x plus 6, 2x plus 3 and x. In this case, this will be the having the largest number. If you want to check it, you can check by, let us suppose that Ellen sold number of properties 1 in that particular month. So A will be having the value 2, B will be having value 2 plus 3, 5, C will be having value 2 plus 6, 8, D will be having value 2 plus 3, 5 and E will be having 1, right? So in this case, the correct answer is Carrie sold the maximum number of properties that month. So option is option C. In such type of comparative questions, you must try to relate all the variables to a single variable so as to compare them easily. In a field day at a school, each child who competed in n events and scored a total of p points was given an overall score of p upon n plus n. So in a school, each child which plays n events, this is number of events, and p is total number of points. Right? Andrew competed in, so in case of Andrew competed in 1 event. So that means for this p is equal to 1 and scored 9 points. So in this case, n is equal to scored 9 points. So sorry, this is a number of events. So he competed in n is equal to 1. Number of points gained is p is equal to 9. So for this Andrew, the overall score for Andrew will be 9 upon 1 plus 1. So this will be 9 plus 1, 10. Now for the case of Jason competed in 3 events. So number of events n is equal to 3 and scored 5, 6 and 7 points. So total number of points p will be equal to 5 plus 6, 11 plus 7, 18. So overall score for Jason would be equal to P, which is equal to 18 by 3 plus 3. So this will be 3, 6, 6 plus 3, 9. Now the question asks, what was the ratio of Andrew's overall score to Jason's overall score? So in numerator we will have to place Andrew's score, so that is 10 divided by 9. Since these are consecutive numbers, they won't be having anything in common, so the answer for this will be option number D. We can't simplify it further. Fine. Or sometimes the answer is also given in terms of mixed fraction. In that case, it will be 9, 1, 1, 9, 1, 10, 9, 1, 9 plus 1, 10 upon 9. This can also be the answer, but in this case, it has been given in this form. So option D is the right answer. A certain work plan for September requires that a work team working every day produces an average of 200 items per day. For the first half of the month, the team produced an average of 150 items per day. How many items per day must the team average during the second half of the month if it is to attain the average daily production rate required by the work plan? So what the question says in this is that in September, you must know that in September we have 30 days. So as per plan, it has to produce 200 items per day. 200 items per day. So total number of items which it will be producing in 30 days will be 3 to 6, 6,000 items. Now, due to some certain reasons, for the first half of the month, the team produced an average of 150 items. That means 150 into 15. Now, this is equal to 2 to 15 into 15 is 225 and 0. Now, the question asks, how many items per day must the team average during the second half of the month if it is to attain the average daily production required by the work plan? Fine. So, there is a deficit that according to this plan, it must produce 200 multiplied by 15, that is equal to 3000 items, right? Because half of this should be produced in half of the month, but due to certain reason it is producing 2250, right? So what does that basically means? That 2250 plus, let us suppose it produced X number of items in the second half. So divide by 30 should be equal to 200. This is the average, which is the required average, fine. So this is basically the total number of items produced in the month, which is 6000. So X would be equal to 6000 minus 2250, fine, which is equal to 3750. Now this number of items has to be produced in the second half of the month. So the required average should be equal to 3750 divided by 50. So if you solve this, this comes out to be 15, 230, then it is 75, 15, 5 and then 0. So 250 items per day should be produced in the second half of the month so as to compensate this deficit in the first half. So right option is the option B. So now this is the way to get the answer. Now if we logically deduce this, we know that it is falling short, average is 200, but it is producing 150 items per day. So by comparison, it is falling short 50 items per day. See, it is like this. 200 items had to be produced, but it is lacking every day for the first 15 days and it is producing 150 items. So it is lacking 50 items per day. So as to compensate this for the next 15 days, it must produce every item normal production plus 50 items more. So if you add this, it must produce 250 items so as to compensate this loss. So this is the logical deduction. If you try, you can easily get this answer also through this method. A company sells radios for $15 each. It costs company $14 per radio to produce 1000 radios and $13.50 per radio to produce 2000 radios. How much greater will the company's gross profit be from the production and sale of 2000 radios than from the production and sale of 1000 radios? See, first of all, we will calculate the selling price. Now, selling price is $15 each. Now, there are two scenarios. One is for the production of 1000 radios and second is for the production of 2000 radios. Now, company produces 1000 radios at the cost of $14 per radio. So now this is the production cost, or we can say the costing price. So what is the difference lying over here? That is $1. So here it would be $1 multiplied by 1000. So this is $1000. Okay. So this is the rep. Right. We calculated it from the difference from the selling price and the cost price, which is actually costing it. Now, in case for 2000 radios, it is $13.50 per radio, but it is selling it at $15. So per piece, the profit is $1.50 multiplied by 2000. So it will be 150 into 20. 150 into 2 is 3. So this will be $3,000. So the difference is 3000 minus $1,000. So it is basically $2,000 profit. So the right option is option D. So from this question, what we get that the mass production always causes us a greater profit. Which of the following represents positive number? So first is -3 minus of 5. So this will be -3 minus of 5 will be equal to -3. Minus into minus is plus, so this will be plus. 5 minus 3 is plus 2. Second is -3 multiplied by -5. So this minus into minus will become plus. 5 into 3 is 15. So this is also positive. Third is -5 minus of 3. Minus into minus will become plus, so this will be -5 plus 3. So this will be minus of 2. So this question we see that first and second two options are positive. First and two option will be option D is the right answer. Point X lies on side BC of a rectangle ABCD which has length 12 and width 8. What is the area of triangular region AXD? So first we will draw a rectangle ABCD. Let us suppose this is a rectangle A, B, C and D. Now it says that point X lies on side BC. So let us suppose this is that point X on side BC of the rectangle ABCD. Now it is having length 12 and width 8. So what is the area of the triangular region AXD? Now we know that for a triangle, the area of triangle is 1/2 base into height. That height is the shortest distance possible. So this will be in this case this one. This can be assumed to have this will be equal to this. XY will be equal to CD equal to 8 and AD is the length of the triangle. So this will be 1/2 into base is AD into height. This height will be equal to CD. So this will be equal to 1/2. AD is 12 multiplied by 8. So this will be 6, 8, 6, 48 square meters, right? Or square units. So right option is option B, 40. Thank you. Today's lecture is up to this point. Thank you.